staff and what sort of roles do Hoy's employ?
We have approximately 35 staff, sometimes up to 40, as we employ contractors as well as permanent staff and casual. We have admin assistants, a bookkeeper, physiotherapists, exercise physiologists, occupational therapists, dietitians, massage therapists, a range of managerial roles, and rehab consultants.
Wow, that's a lot. And how many sites do you have, and when was Hoy's established?
So Hoy's Allied Health and Wellness was established in 2006, and there are 3 sites. We've got Coffs Harbour, Sawtell and Tormina, and then Hoy's Work Health was purchased by Hoy's Allied Health and Wellness in 2009, I think it was, and we've got 1 site at the Jetty practice.
Oh, very good. Okay, so if you do some recruitment, which I know I've done recruitment with you for an administration role a couple of months ago, so
Yep.
You review the resume. So what do you look for in a resume?
Yeah, so first of all, that it's well written, that it's concise. I guess I don't like to see a resume that's pages and pages. Ideally, I'd like to keep it to about 2 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And I look for relevant skills and experience. So ideally, if the applicant can highlight that at the start of the resume, makes my job a whole lot easier.
Sure. And how important are referees on that resume to you?
Definitely need to contact referees. I don't like it so much when I see referees that aren't workplace referees.
Yeah,
So
sure.
ideally, I'd like to see a supervisor, business owner, something like that. When it's a colleague, yes, I can make that call if I need to. A personal referee, I don't think, although some people have put personal referees on resumes, I don't think I've ever made the call to a personal referee.
Yeah, there's no relevance really.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you're reviewing the resumes and then you get down to that shortlist, do you
Yep.
then look at people's social media profiles at all?
I don't actually. I do. I know some of our managers do.
Yeah.
And they'll feed back to me what they may have found, but I personally, as the primary recruiter, don't.
Okay. Yep. And what sort of attributes would you look for in a potential new employee?
Yeah. So enthusiasm, that's the biggest one.
Yep.
We can train people, but enthusiasm and an interest in the role. It depends on the role, what we're looking for. So if it's an administrative position, attention to detail is really important.
Yep.
And also, when I said their resume is concise, also the ability for the individual to be concise.
Yeah, of course.
So to be really on point in what they're discussing and
Yep.
to not kind of waffle on.
Yeah, okay. And do you encourage potential new employees or applicants to those roles to view your website and know what Hoy's Allied Health is all about?
Yeah, so we don't direct them to the website. However, one of the questions in our interview is, what do you know about Hoy's and why have you applied for a job here?
Perfect.
So in that, I would expect that someone would have gone to the website and would read a little bit about what we do, so that when they come into the interview, they can answer the questions in a relevant way to Hoy's and what we do.
Fair enough. And is there anything throughout the resume that might be a red flag to you that you would just go, no, out?
In terms of going out, maybe not, but I guess big red flags are definitely gaps in employment history.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's got a year or so that doesn't look like in their resume that they've been working.
Yes.
Also, when someone seems to have a very quick turnover in positions, when I look at resumes, I really like to see that someone's worked somewhere for 2, 3, 4 or longer years.
Yeah.
I'm not keen on seeing like 6 months, 12 months, and then jumping from employer to employer.
Yeah, so you're looking for that longevity, that person that can put the hard yards in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If we're going to take the time to train somebody, I'd like to know that they're going to stick around.
Absolutely. That makes complete sense. So after the interview process, if you've recruited through ETC, we would ask you for feedback on the applicants that you have interviewed. And I know in the past you've given me feedback. So is that something you would continue to do even if you didn't go through ETC? Is that an important thing for you?
Absolutely. In terms of, because when we recruit, we might interview 8 to 10 people for the position.
Yep.
So in terms of me providing feedback to each one of those, it's not something that I would necessarily contact them to provide that feedback straight away.
Sure.
But absolutely, if people are wanting to contact me for that feedback, more than happy to give that. And I think that's important for people to then know, if they're not successful in this position, what they might do differently next time.
Yeah, thank you. And that's why it's important for us as well.
Yeah.
So, deemed suitable after interview, what does your application process look like? Is it a online thing that someone does, or is it a form they come in and fill out, or?
After interview?
Yeah.
Yep. So after interview, it's me contacting referees, and
Yep.
then if I'm happy with that, I'll contact the individual and make an offer. And if they're happy with that offer, I would then send them a letter of offer along with the employment forms that they need to fill out, and so they'll do all that electronically and send it back to me.
Perfect. Okay. And as part of our recruitment process at ETC, if you were to employ one of our candidates, we would like to do follow-up contacts with you as the business.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you think in that initial time of that new employee that you'd like to hear from us? Would you like us to come out and see you? Would you like us to email, make a phone call? What do you think you'd like to see happen there?
I think initially once a month,
Yep.
and I think it's really important that be face-to-face.
Yep.
In the work that we do in workplace rehab, we are as well sometimes placing people into employment, and we make sure we do those follow-ups face-to-face, because there's so much more to be gained through a face-to-face conversation than just over the phone. I think both the employer and the employee are likely to provide you with so much more in terms of how it's going, any particular issues that you can address if it's face-to-face.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, thank you, Larissa. That's just some questions I had to ask. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really appreciate your time.
Great, no worries. Thank you, Billy Jo.
Thank you.